powerful endgame setup for any type of hunt and should hold its own once the new content drops. There are a couple of gear piece and decoration variants which I will go over, which all offer fantastic high damage, solid affinity, especially when including weakness exploit, and of course a choice between a couple of different elements to nuke our adversaries down. First up, let's take a look at the gear, and please do feel free to make some constructive suggestions in the comments below. Take a look in the background as we discuss the two weapons of choice and how they perform on the training dummy. This is set to 7-star, raw damage in the settings with all coefficients on. Whilst nothing gives a better reflection in actual fights, this does show the potential to pull some devastating numbers. Our first weapon of choice here is the Arch and Dragon DualBlade Tiltkreiser. Feel free to pause to take a closer look if you'd wish. These dual blades are absolutely monstrous and you can do some very satisfying damage numbers with this setup. My dual blades roll pretty well with 4 attack and 1 elemental, which is still, believe it or not, suboptimal, especially in the affinity department, but with that being said, it still crits plenty. The base damage is very tasty and this helps a lot. This is a great weapon to take against tempered enemies such as Tempered Arkveld and Gormagala, as they are weak to dragon element. I'll be interested to see what the latest tempered Elder Dragon appears to have once we get our hands on the update. Gormag is also weak to fire, and this is where our second choice of dual blade comes into the fray, the Wyvern Lovers. These are a fire element dual blade combo which works superbly in tandem with the decorations and some of the gear choices which I'll be going over in a moment. It's a great change of pace and gives you yet another option to switch to with a slightly different strength to the tilt crease blades. They also come with critical boost 3, which is absolutely awesome. That means that we don't need to worry about applying crit boost in our decos as much. We still do include it, folks, but that is just a really nice touch for these weapons as well. Before we go into the gear, if you're enjoying the video, and only if you are, drop the video a like. It really helps me out, and if you're interested in checking out more upcoming builds for Monster Hunter, sub to the channel to keep informed. You can also catch me streaming a variety of co-op games here on YouTube and over on Twitch, so come and check out a stream or two. Now, back to the video. For gear, we've got a range of choices here that are very synergistic. I will go over everything and write this up in the Mobalytics link in the description below. First up, this will come as no surprise, 2 pieces of the Gormagala set, the boots and the waist. This gives us Constitution +1 and Antivirus +1, plus the Black Eclipse set bonus, which automatically infects us with Frenzy when fighting a large monster. This is key because we are running Antivirus level 3, which means Frenzy clears faster, making it much easier to manage, and we gain a 10% affinity boost every time we remove it. With the aggressive nature of this build, we clear Frenzy very quickly, turning it into a consistent buff. But the next 2 pieces are where there is a bit of flex, and I switch between these 2 sets here depending on how I'm feeling. The Odogaron helm and gloves allow us to ensure we get a nice chunky portion of burst points, and the 2-piece bonus which synergizes nicely here to push our attack up a little bit. This does though limit us in being able to not take 3 marathon jewels, which you can argue are potentially mandatory for making this build feel not only absolutely godly but also more forgiving in the stamina department, and that's definitely something that I think would be related to your level of skill. However, if you would rather lean into the fire damage we've already discussed, then the 2-piece of the Rathalos set, which gives you the passive of Rathalos Flare, giving us an increased chance to deal extra fire damage, is a real nice choice here, and it also rewards us with 2 weakness exploit and the ability to socket 2 of those marathon jewels for that tasty stamina efficiency gain. And I would say that this is quite a nice choice if you just want to play around with using those Wyvern Lovers and blast out as much fire damage as possible. The other option is to use the Guardian Arkveld braces for 2 weakness exploit on the gloves and the ability to socket 3 of the marathon jewels to maximize that stamina drain efficiency, which will greatly benefit us. I will write all this up and include it in the Mobalytics link in the description below. To wrap things up on the gear pieces, we're using the Arc Vulcan chest for that +1 to weakness exploit, and we're also using the Exploiter charm or depending on what you've picked in terms of your gear pieces, you might also be wanting to use the burst charm level 2 to level that off. You want to be aiming to have 5 in weakness exploit and 5 in burst. This is how you optimize your damage. And also you can use the corruption mantle to give yourself that nice punchy 100% affinity uptime with the penalty of losing some health. I always find myself utterly mesmerized by the way the DualBlades animations are just so fluid, especially when you do those crazy mount attacks. Just look at how much thought and preparation must have gone into these animations, and that is why we need increasingly powerful gaming rigs to support our gaming needs. That's why I'm excited to be partnering with Apex Gaming PCs. If you're thinking about upgrading your setup, Apex Gaming PCs has got you covered. Whether you need a high-powered rig for massively demanding games like Monster Hunter Wilds, or you just want things to run buttery smooth, they've got pre-built and custom systems that can handle it all. Plus, there's some solid discounts going on right now, so if you've even been considering an upgrade, now is a great time to check them out. And don't forget to use code FaZe at checkout for a 5% discount. The links are in the description below. So, how do we achieve our high performance? Well, let's start with the weapons and go over some of our options. This is where you get a bit of flexibility in the build. I will highlight the variations you can choose from, and I'll also put these in the write-up in the link in the description. In terms of the Arshan weapon, we have a level 3 dragon attack duel with the hybrid handicraft for extra sharpness and a nice chunk of dragon damage. You could also take the critical element hybrid here too if you so wish. The mastery duel for chance of extra sharpness protection on crits, and a level 3 critical boost duel. On the Wyvern lovers, we have a level 3 blaze duel with the level 1 handicraft hybrid, a level 2 sharp duel for protective polish, and level 1 critical boost. This is where there's a little bit of difference. I actually do find sometimes that using the Wyvern lovers is actually a much better experience due to the protective polish, but that does kind of vary depending on my mood, and you do probably get more damage squeezed out of the particular roll that I have on the Arshan weapon, but your results may vary depending on what your reinforcement rolls are, which is 4 attack and 1 element. Very nice. On the gear slots, we're going for 3 Phoenix jewels for level 3 coalescence, 2 tenderizer jewels, 1 chain jewel, and 2 antivirus jewels. This ensures that we sit at level 5 burst, level 5 weakness exploit, level 3 coalescence, and level 3 antivirus. And if you're using the variant with the Guardian Arc gloves, you can also slap 3 marathon jewels in for extra stamina efficiency. Very effective. I think I would probably recommend this actually if you're not an absolutely god tier blade player. I would probably recommend this if you're not an absolute god tier level player. It just makes it a lot more forgiving, and that's certainly the angle I sometimes go with, although I am trying to push myself. I'm still learning the ropes with a plethora of the weapons in this game. It's got a lot of depth. Check out this next video. It's got you covered. Take care of yourselves. Keep having fun. Come check out a stream on YouTube or Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one.